Hello, this is Tom with Tabletop Reporting. Today we're reporting on Tools of the Trade, a drive-through deal of the day. Link will be in the show notes. And it is the GM's toolkit for running a heist adventure. So the book comes as a softcover black and white book, or PDF, or both. And it's 140 pages with a ton of black and white illustrations. Now, these are an old style. I do not know if they are freshly, newly commissioned and produced by an artist, or if they are from public domain. But they have found a lot. And it's not like they're random black and white illustrations. They seem to fit what's being talked about on the page. So somebody worked very hard at assembling all of these illustrations and putting them into the book. So props to them, because there's plenty to look at throughout the book. You're not going page upon page of just black and white print. It's a very well laid out book, and I enjoyed spending last night reading the PDF. So the production values are high, although Lightning Source's print quality may not be as high. Their print quality is not always what it really should be, but this is an excellent document. Before we get too deep, I just want to say thanks for watching the video. Thanks to my subscribers. You guys are great. And don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and bell icon. Help me build the channel. First off is an examination of what is a heist. The author is actually critical of Baldur's Gate's dragon heist. He really goes into what a heist is, what it isn't. And so I think he's justifiably critical of Baldur's Gate's dragon heist. Whether you liked it or not, it's not that he's saying that it's a bad adventure. It's that he's saying it doesn't really fit the qualifications of a true heist. He spent some time defining what a heist is versus a caper. Caper's more comical. So all capers are heists, but not all heists are capers. The heist being more serious. So you can play the adventures you write with this book from a more serious or a more comical, whatever your bent is. There's lots of practical advice about running a heist campaign, which is excellent advice for the setting. It should be noted that a heist campaign is an urban setting, or perhaps set on a space station if it's a sci-fi genre. It's important to understand that this is a different animal of campaign altogether. And so that's why this book is necessary, because it lays out the structure and format and the procedures for doing a heist campaign. And that's critical. This will help you run a successful game. The players will be thieves endeavoring to get by in life by being a crew, pulling off heists. And when we say thieves, we don't necessarily mean a thief class or a rogue after 2nd edition D&D. But they could be anything. They could be a magic user. They could be a fighter. They could be any class. They just happen to engage in stealing. The bulk of the book is random tables with explanations and entries, as well as worksheets. You generate the who, which is the mark, the what, which is the loot, the where, which is the gig, the catch or catches, which are the obstacles that the player characters know about. And then you generate the hitches, the hitch or the hitches, which are the obstacles that the player characters don't know about. And then you have random tables for the payout. Is it going to be payment upon delivery, or payment after it's sold, or it's I owe you a favor, or there's a variety of things that each individual heist could end up being. So by having all these random tables, and they're usually a D20. In fact, they're almost all a D20, and then occasionally you roll a D6 as the sub item line. They're going to be different every time. You're going to randomly generate different features to the heist, it will be different and fresh every time because you won't get stuck in a rut of it being you're stealing a gem from another noble, you're stealing a crown from a noble, you're stealing a book, a bottle of wine from a noble. You're you don't get in the same ruts because we tend to get into ruts, and this will help you not to do that. After you've generated all the who, what, when, where, so on and so forth, you then get into generating the circumstances about the heist. And these are summed up as bad luck. You generate on this table. Bad luck is unexpected negative complications that no one could have planned for. You then have dumb luck. And dumb luck is positive things that happen in the player character's favor. And you have weird stuff, weird stuff that are weird coincidences that just happen that may or may not affect the PCs and their job. And then you have a consequences table. What are the consequences of this heist having gone off? For example, the person who was robbed might have taken a special interest. They are determined to investigate who did this job, who stole from them. They want to know who did it, where are they, they want, and so this consequence causes this mark to begin an investigation. It'll go 1 to 12 months, and there's a 5% chance per month, accumulative, that they will discover who it was that stole from them, and they will do something in response to that. The game master is going to have to come up with that, but it's going to depend upon the circumstances of what was stolen, how valuable it was, how much they were humiliated in all of this. There's another table for rolling to see what their reaction is to the player character. So, these are really interesting things. And so it's about building a whole campaign as thieves, maybe rising up in a thieves guild in an urban setting, and all of these tables go to that. Now, there's a transition here because that's all about the heist. The next section of the book is all about the NPCs because the player characters are going to need NPC contacts in the underworld, in the criminal world, in the black market. And so there is a major discussion of NPCs, and it's actually really handy. Now, you have basic types of NPC, like a hustler. This is the guy, he's a con man. He's fast talker, very charismatic. You have the scrounger. You need something, he can find it. Or you need a hustler. You don't know a hustler, you need a hustler. The scrounger can find you a hustler. The fence, self-explanatory. The investor, the muscle. These are all discussed, but more important than these is the discussion about NPC roles in this book. The NPC roles in this book, there's 4 roles. You have the basic contact. When these contacts are first generated, they're classed as a contact. They're not going to stay a contact. They're going to go up and down on a 4-point spectrum. So the 4 roles are ally, contact, rival, and enemy. And this discussion is really, really cool because they're not going to stay where they're at. The fence that you work with today could become your rival tomorrow. And then later on, maybe he becomes your enemy due to the circumstances of what happens in the heist as each heist develops. So I love this section, and this is the section where you're going to steal stuff for your campaign. There's a random tables for generating not just the contacts, but the families, the syndicates, the criminal organizations. And then you have a whole section called Expanding Your Criminal Education. It's a great title. It's an extensive reading list with books like Robert Asprin's Thieves World, and an extensive movie list with movies like The Italian Job and Ocean's 11. This book is very much system neutral. And while it clearly is written for the fantasy RPGs, it's easily usable for any genre of gaming. Whether you want to simply try something different or run a whole Urban Thieves campaign, this is an excellent addition to any Game Master's library. So this is Tom for Tabletop Tap Room. Thank you for watching the video. Thanks to my subscribers. You guys are great. Don't forget that like, subscribe, and bell icon. Help me build the channel. Check out Tools of the Trade, a GM's guide to creating and running fantasy heists on Drive-Thru RPG, and keep on gaming.